Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Dranitsaris with today's episode of Relationships Live, featuring the ENTJ. We're hosting Relationship Empowerment Month and bringing you insights and tips for each of the 16 personality types and our 8 striving styles. As you'll see by tuning into each episode, no two personality types are exactly alike, but when we understand what drives the behavior of each of the styles, how they bond, how they romance, you're more likely to have successful relationships with any style and not take their behavior personally. They're just behaving the way they do because of the way their brain is organized. Plus, you'll have the benefit of understanding why you behave the way you do in relationships and how you contribute through your behavior and misunderstandings of other people's styles that you cause friction and conflict in your relationships. So get ready to get acquainted with the ultimate boss, the ENTJ. They simply can't resist the urge to be in charge. It's just who they are. They can't help themselves. With a deep need for control, they feel secure when they can take charge and direct things in their life, including their relationships. For an ENTJ, being the one in control of the relationship is the only way to go. They're really convinced they know best and want their partner to fall in line with their ideas. It's almost like they live by the mantra, my way or the highway. And while this approach can create a well-oiled machine of a relationship, it can also leave their partner feeling disempowered and like they don't have a say in anything. And as I was reflecting before the session today, I was thinking how infrequent it is that I've had a client, both in my organizational work with leaders or in my psychotherapy practice, where they have an ENTJ has actually come for help. And in doing some research on this, interestingly enough, these people are really powered by having this image of themselves as not needing anybody or anything. And they approach everything with this idea of, I can handle it, I've got it, I know the way, I can lead, with the same fierce determination and strategic mindset they use in their professional lives. And so they use this strength of theirs to drive this relationship, the relationship with others. So they seek to build a strong partnership with their significant other, but their dominant personality can sometimes come across as controlling or overbearing. They have an intense desire to be in charge, to be the one making decisions, and they expect their partner to follow their lead without question. They believe that showing their love means taking charge and creating order, making plans, and being the one in the driver's seat with their partner along for the ride. And while they aim to create a successful and happy relationship, they can sometimes forget to enjoy the simple pleasures of being with their partner and being equal to them. Communication with the ENTJ can be very direct and forceful and authoritative. They have a directive style of communicating, and their commanding presence is often intimidating to others. And it's not unusual for an ENTJ just to dictate commands to their partner as though they're a general and their partner is a part of their army. And rather than involving them and being collaborative with them, they maintain control over uncertainty or chaotic emotions by treating their partner as a subordinate rather than an equal. While they may struggle with being vulnerable and expressing their emotions, they show their affection through those tangible, practical, keeping everybody safe and secure that benefit the relationship. And their predominant need for control and success and to win may cause them to prioritize their work or other goals over their relationship, leading their partner to feeling neglected and unimportant. And additionally, because of what I was talking about with, they have an image of themselves as being complete, of not needing anybody and anything. And so they'll struggle with accepting any feedback or input from their partner, which can create friction in the relationship because it's like they're treating their partner as though they're the lesser half in the relationship. And as with all of the thinking function preferenced people out there in the world, ENTJs are very similar. They have difficulty with the expression of the softer side of themselves. They have difficulty showing tenderness and affection because they mistakenly believe that that's sort of a show of weakness. They're not naturally touchy-feely, and they can even ridicule their partner for expressing love verbally. They prefer to express it in those practical ways. And setting goals and achieving goals with their partner is a way of them being in relationship. And verbal expressions of love, they can seem to them like they're excessive or unnecessary. You know, what's the goal of expressing that? Well, there isn't one. It's simply an experiential thing that we human beings do to bond and to make ourselves feel in intimacy. It's not a goal of the ENTJ. They strive for a strong, successful partnership. They really do need to work on balancing their need for control and success and driven for results with allowing their emotions to be a part of their connection to their partner and allowing their partner to have a voice and a say in the relationship, allowing their partner's personality type actually to influence their behavior. And there are so many things I could tell you about the powerful, decisive ENTJ leader style. And if you want to know more, check out nowfixyourrelationship.com, where you'll find out all about the ENTJ and in reports and other personality type resources. But this workshop is for anyone struggling either as an ENTJ or experiencing challenges at home or at work with an ENTJ because of their self-protective, codependent, unconscious behavior. So here's a little bit about how they bond. We all bond in relationships in a particular way. But when we have an insecure or avoidant attachment style, we bond in a more codependent fashion. Most of us get stuck here during our formative years and in development and still have some relationship maturing to do. After all, no one trains us in the art of interpersonal or relationship effectiveness. The ENTJ's way of bonding is to fuse becoming the boss of the partnership. They like to be in that dominant position and they expect their partner to take the subordinate role and act in alignment with decisions and relationship rules and behaviors. Doing so diminishes the anxiety of the ENTJ and keeps them in the safety of their comfort zone. They create for themselves a perfect codependent partnership, providing their partner doesn't act independently, and they keep following the ENTJ's lead. Somebody looking for an equal partnership will run into a lot of power struggles with the ENTJ. They want to be the decision maker, the one who's always right, and they can sometimes create conflict just so they can put their partner in their place, so their need to be in control is met. That brings us to the topic of conflict because ENTJs don't shy away from it and they create a lot of it in relationships through their domineering behavior. And when it comes to conflict, ENTJs want to win. Let the games begin. They don't take no for an answer and will fight tooth and nail to come out on top. So how do they get their partner to back down? In some cases, an ENTJ might try to control their partner through emotional manipulation, such as by using guilt or shame. They might suggest their partner isn't being supportive enough or they're not contributing enough to the relationship in order to get them to back down in a conflict when they're the ones that are being confronted. They'll also try to control their partner during a conflict by using their strong communication skills to dominate in the conversation. They'll interrupt or speak over them in a way that makes it clear they're in charge, such as using a commanding tone or talking louder, repeating what they just said in a louder voice, which makes it really difficult for the partner to express their own feelings and ideas. And this, in essence, leads them to back down. It's one of the core talents and unique abilities of this personality type. They are the masters of persuasion with both the extroverted thinking and the introverted intuition. They know exactly, it's like they see in their mind's eye what to do, what buttons to push, and how to make their partner see things their way. It's like they've got a Jedi mind trick up their sleeve, and they'll use their quick wit and logic to make their argument seem like it is the only logical choice, leaving their partner sometimes scratching their head, wondering what the heck just happened because their partner was convinced of what they wanted, and all of a sudden they're taking the ENTJ partner's side. They'll also use their knowledge and expertise to dismiss their partner's perspective. They're so convinced that their own approach is the best one, they'll convince their partner to see their way no matter what it takes. And if they're arguing, for example, about a decision related to the shared finances, the ENTJ might use their financial expertise to explain why their decision is the most sensible one, even if their partner has a different opinion. But what makes them really challenging is they're experts at keeping their cool during a conflict. They never let their emotions get the best of them. And so instead, they choose to approach the situation with a level head and a cool demeanor, which for their partner who is upset or may be very upset and emotional, it gets them going even more because it's as though their ENTJ partner isn't taking their emotions and how they feel seriously. It's also intimidating to their partner who feels like they're being talked down to and their feelings dismissed or ignored. The ENTJ will use their assertive and authoritative communication style to make sure their partner knows who's boss, speaking in a firm tone, using direct language to convey the point, leaving little room for debate. So it isn't, if you think of it about how it feels to be on the receiving end of this sort of approach from the ENTJ, it's like being battered, but softly. It's like they've got a baseball bat, but they put sponge around it or something, but you're still being battered, but you can't call them on anything because they're being so very logical. And getting upset with them really doesn't work. This is their style, and they need to be brought around by their partner to help them see that they're being dismissive not only of the partner's feelings but of their own feelings as well. So I'm going to go through three of the main challenges that people report being in relationship with the ENTJ, because even though the ENTJ doesn't very often come into therapy, their partners often do. The first thing that they do that really undermines the partnership, the democracy of a relationship, is that the ENTJ will work at making their partner depending on them. So how do they do it? It's a delicate art that involves a lot of subtle and not so subtle tactics. For starters, they make decisions and they start down the road as though, their partner doesn't have any say in the matter. So whether it's big or small, they don't feel the need to consult their partner. And they act like and convince their partner that all of this was for their partner's benefit. But really, it's about maintaining control. And they never like anyone or anything to slow them down. And so having to talk it through with a partner means they have to wait. When they've already made their decision, they don't want to encounter any barriers or any challenges to what they're deciding to do. And if their partner does happen to express an opinion or desire, the ENTJ will often dismiss or talk over them as though their thoughts and feelings are irrelevant. They can even, if their partner doesn't back down, they can start nitpicking or bring up bad choices their partner made in the past. All of these are ammunition to get their partner to back down. And notice that it's a backing down. They have to win. It's not about joining them and getting them on the same page. It's, getting them to move off of their position and onto theirs. Another way ENTJs make sure their partners depend on them is by treating their partner like they're helpless or incompetent. They'll take over tasks that their partner is perfectly capable of doing, or they'll belittle their partner's achievements or capabilities as though they're not smart enough or talented enough to handle things on their own. And these are just unconscious tactics, but they're hurtful. They serve to make the partner feel small and powerless as though they're not capable of handling their own lives. And while it may give the ENTJ a sense of control and dominance in the relationship, it ultimately damages the trust and respect between partners, and there's no place to grow. Absolutely no place to grow when one partner is dominant and the other is submissive. So what's a partner to do? The first thing is to confront your ENTJ partner, but making sure that you're first chill. You chill out. You remove emotion from the situation. Take some time to reflect on what specific behaviors your ENTJ partner is doing that's making you feel like a helpless kid that can't make their own decisions. Jot them down if it helps you organize your thoughts, and stay focused on the facts. This is, in issue resolution, what we want to do is not have the person get us off our position or fighting for our position and them fighting for theirs, but finding ways of overcoming objections so that if you stay with the facts and not, my God, you never listen to me, you're such a bully, and making it emotional. If you stay with the facts and the issues and what you're trying to resolve so that you make decisions collaboratively, you have a better result with the ENTJ. Do it when you're both in a good mood, not busy. Talk it out, but don't blame your partner. Use I statements to express how their behavior is making you feel. For example, I feel like a tiny, insignificant human when you make all the decisions without asking for my input. I am your partner. You need to state, I am your partner. I am entitled to make decisions with you. I don't require you to make them for me. Thank you very much. There's specific things your partner does that you can't tolerate, let them know. Say something like, I'm really not down with acting like my choices aren't valid. If we have a disagreement, let's chat about it respectfully. Remember, you have every right to be treated with respect and dignity in your relationship. Don't let your ENTJ partner's need for control make you feel like a kid who can't handle things. By communicating clearly in that business language and setting boundaries, you can create a healthier dynamic in your relationship. So you're choosing to use your power and not give your power away to your ENTJ partner, who will just lap it all up because they love power. They love being in control. The next challenge that partners have, and this sort of runs into the first, is that they can be very arrogant and dismissive and devaluing, acting as though they're above it all. And so partners of ENTJs can find it challenging to deal with this sense of arrogance and superiority. ENTJs have a natural tendency to believe that they're always right and their way is the best way, which really does come across as arrogant, and there's no room for discussion, and there's no room for you to be validated, as in them, the ENTJ saying, I can really see your point. Here's why I feel mine is the way to go, but, let's see if we can't get both of our needs met. They don't do that. In relationships, if they don't like your opinion, you're their partner, it's like you can feel them rising up in their arrogance and superiority. Their energy takes on a certain flavor. This can be really different because nobody likes to be devalued, and it can push us as their partner into feeling undervalued, disrespected, and the ENTJ hasn't even said anything. And these people, they have a really hard time admitting when they're wrong or making compromises, which makes it even worse, because if you say, no matter how sweetly to them, honey, you made a decision without me. We agreed that we would make these larger decisions collaboratively. They can hit the roof, or they can go into that superior place. Well, I know you don't have any financial acumen, so why in the world would I wait for you to make this decision? So you can see it'd be so easy for them to pop out something like that. And it sounds, of course, very reasonable, especially if that isn't, finances aren't your core strength, but you want to be included and you're entitled to that. So never let off on that one. You are entitled to it. They are not superior to you, even though they act like it, even though they see themselves as the more capable and competent partner. You don't have to fall in line with their vision and plan. It means that you live in the shadow of your partner being undervalued and allowing it to happen. And you can also live without expecting your ENTJ partner to recognize and appreciate your contributions because, hey, they're center stage and they're driving the show, and it just because they're projecting something onto you as a lesser partner, it does not mean that you have to live out of it. So don't explain, don't justify. You need to be prepared to navigate their strong-willed and opinionated nature with finesse and grace. Effective communication is key for you, as is the ability to assert one's own needs and desires while finding ways to work collaboratively with your ENTJ partner. Assertiveness is a vital skill in any relationship, and particularly so when dealing with an ENTJ. It means standing up for yourself and expressing your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs honestly and appropriately without infringing on their rights. So you're not putting them down. You're simply making sure you've got a seat at the table. Attempting to engage in conflict or shouting matches or power struggles that are solely focused on winning rather than resolving the issue, it's an exercise in futility. So as a partner, you have to really take care not to allow yourself to be disrespected, assert your right to be heard, understood, and empathized with. Any communicating of what is unacceptable needs to be done. They are not allowed to dominate, humiliate, or degrade you And they can only do it if you allow them and give them your power and don't assert yourself. And the final challenge, these people can be so much in their head and in the future that they are emotionally unavailable to their partner. They're known for their analytical and logical approach to life, which can sometimes make them appear that you're not really as important to them as work or as what they're thinking about or other people, even in their lives, that they find more intellectually engaging. These individuals are often so focused on achieving their goals and pursuing success, they neglect to prioritize emotional connection and intimacy. They can be more concerned with their intellectual pursuits and exploring the depths of their own feelings and those of their partners. And this tendency to prioritize external achievements over internal experiences, this is all ego-driven stuff. They're all for success. They want to win. They're driving for that. And it can really leave their partner feeling alone, disconnected, and really unfulfilled. Emotional unavailability of ENTJs manifests in a variety of ways, not expressing their own emotions, not comprehending and validating your emotions as their partner, defaulting to logical solutions, treating your emotions as though they're problems to be fixed or solved. And this approach and this quick, oh well, you're feeling lonely, okay, well, let's do this, and then you won't feel lonely anymore, and then I can go back to doing what I did before. That doesn't work. It's like the partner ends up feeling unheard, unsupported, and with the most detrimental thing to the ENTJ, I have to say, is that they never really develop emotional intelligence. They think that they're emotionally intelligent because they control their emotions and they have such ability to manage it. However, they don't have capacity and emotional intelligence necessary to navigate complex emotional situations and connect with their partner on a deeper level. So the final tip, don't fight with them, help them. Despite how frustrating it is when your ENTJ partner dismisses your feelings and doesn't bother to stay in touch with theirs, they are still human beings and you're dealing with the undeveloped side of them. Coming at them with your emotions or shaming them is only going to create an argument, and you know how much they love to win. It'll get you nowhere. Instead, encourage reflection and the building of emotional self-awareness, and it's important for them. The importance for their overall success in the business world and in their relationships and parenting and relationships with friends. They really need to get, it's not about being the smartest person in the world. It's not about being always in the winner's circle. It is about how we show up as human beings in our relationships. So really encourage them to do some human type things like self-reflection, journaling, even therapy. Although, as I said, they often, don't want to go down that road because they have to reveal their vulnerabilities. But these things can help them become more aware of their emotional landscape and how it impacts all of their relationships. And because they struggle with expressing their emotions in vulnerable or intimate settings, as a partner, it's important for you to create a safe and supportive space where your ENTJ feels comfortable expressing their feelings. And this can even involve setting aside specific times to talk, actively listening without judgment, and avoiding criticism or defensiveness. Validate your ENTJ's feelings by acknowledging them, reflecting back what you hear, and avoiding the urge to dismiss or minimize their experiences. Remember, time, patience, This is their least developed area, but the payoff can be significant for both yourself and your partner. If you want to know more about our powerful ENTJ, check out the relationship report for the leader striving style or get our relationship toolkit for the ENTJ, which includes an in-depth video training on all things ENTJ. These resources are available through nowfixyourrelationship.com. There's so much more to be learned about the ENTJ and all of the other 16 personality types. And as you know, we're hosting a LinkedIn Live episode for each of the 16 types throughout our Relationship Empowerment Month. Join us next week to find out about the ENTP. Very different from the ENTJ. And you'll find out all of those differences for the performer, the extroverted, intuitive type, and some tips on how to deal with them in relationship and romance. We've got lots of resources for you, so if you can't make it to our live episode, remember, hop on over. Remember that name, nowfixyourrelationship.com. Access all of the posts and recordings, as well as to check out our schedule for the month. And if your experiences as an ENTJ, or if you're in a relationship with an ENTJ and you need some help and support, we have the expertise to help you and your partner achieve your relationship potential. So contact us for a consultation. I'm Dr. Dranitsaris, and I wish you a very good day, and I'll see you next time.